I don't know how fast it would go as a bike. Like, it's, you know, if you used it as a bike propulsion thing, I think you could go 50 or so.
Maybe we should start small. Like maybe like no, I like the bike. Like where would you go? You need like a runway or a salt flat or something.
Yeah.
A salt flat. That's where they get going the fastest online. Always
Well,
salt
got,
flats.
like, miles to go.
I want something with very little rolling resistance. A salt flat might not do that. I'm not sure.
Unicycle.
What do you mean roll? Is it?
Oh, it's a little like
friction?
sand.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm. Huh.
Why do they do it on salt instead of like
Because
big
it's
sand
super
flats?
duper super flat.
And it doesn't.
Oh, it's just because of the flat. It's not because of the salt at all. It's just
and you
Right.
know.
So I watched a documentary on a car trying to break the record, and the salt flat went wrong. I think it was wet or something. So they went to a road, and they're like, at 500 miles an hour, even seemingly very flat roads are just like ramps launching you into the air and dips and stuff. So you need something that's super duper flat.
And also, like,
interesting.
a runway is pretty wide, but it's not as wide as a salt flat. You can really get off track if you had to.
Maybe.
I've seen them get all kinds of use all kinds of speed records. I was watching something a while back where some guy had some sort of contraption where there was like a propeller on top, above, and
a gyrocopter.
He was trying to prove some sort of physics problem, and there was a $10,000 bet on the line. Something about because it was set up in such a way that like the forward movement would propel the propeller, but the propeller would simultaneously provide forward movement, and there was a bit of an argument over the physics of it. I don't remember specifically what it was. It was
the machine you're describing as a gyrocopter. It kind of looks like a helicopter, but the top prop rotor thing is not like lift. They're like, oh, it's just like a rotating wing. And I'm like, well, you lost me already in this simple explanation. But yeah, Zach, can you Google gyrocopter and show a picture of it? It looks like a one-man helicopter. I don't know. Paramotorists think they're cool. I'm not 100% sure why.
Okay, so it was Veritasium, if I'm pronouncing his channel right. You probably know that channel. I think he's super popular, like 11 million subs or something. But he had this bet with a UCLA physics professor.
That's it.
Yeah.
So it's actually that prop in the back is pushing it forward, and the rotor on the top is providing like lift based on the push forward, but it's not powered or anything. It just spins. It's not
what an absolute death trap that is.
It is actually one of the most, like, the fatality rate and accident rates on that is really, really high.
That's it. Look at it. Like it's got.
Oh,
like,
wait! That is not what I'm talking about.
It's not even close.
Not even anywhere in the same neighborhood.
Okay, my mistake.
That looks terrifying.
What is the point of those?
I've never seen a
windshields?
two-seater one before.
Look at the delusion of windshield. In front of them.
Yeah, I'm sure it's pretty windy in there.
Oh, what a dumbass!
No, this is a 3-wheel car that has a propeller above it mounted on a tower.
Yes, that is what it is. What were you talking about?
Okay, I'll just link you.
We probably can't watch this video.
No, you can't watch the video, but
Maybe
if you were to just skip to
I just need to know the kind of thing.
To 2 minutes and 10 seconds.
Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about. It's just a fan boat on land where you try and I've watched this video. Where they talk about the different physics theories of, well, they think this should have a potentially infinite acceleration because of the constant movement of blah 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 and that. But then some other physics guy said something I also didn't understand.
It was something
I thought
about
that thing he said that I don't understand seems more compelling to the thing this guy said I don't understand.
I think that the bet is that car can travel faster than the wind blows, than the wind that it propels it. And the guy who was arguing against it said, well, yeah, it does in little spurts, but that's just because you build up that energy, then the wind slows down, and then now the wind isn't technically pushing you, but you're accelerating. But that's just for this little part of it. And so they did a $10,000 bet, and they had Neil deGrasse Tyson and Bill Nye, the science guy, be part of like the agreement, the online handshake.
Bill Nye.
Yeah, you can't. A high caliber scientists, and then they went out into the salt flats and they proved their point.
I watched a physics video today that I didn't understand, but I thought it was super interesting anyway. I kind of understood. So the question, you've heard of speed of sound.
Yeah.
You've heard of speed of light.
Mhm.
Have you heard of speed of motion?
Like how fast you can move yourself?
No. So imagine you had a steel rod, right? Like, whatever, 1 inch in diameter, thick steel solid rod. And you tap one end of it. How quickly does the other end move? It's kind of instant if the rod is like human length or something. Make it 300,000 kilometers long. And then you tap one end with a hammer. Let's pretend you're infinitely strong. And move it an inch. How quickly until 300,000 kilometers down the way that other inch moves? It's not instant. Is it the speed of light? The answer is it's related to the speed of sound in that medium. So if we're made out of jelly, it'd be one thing. If we're made out of steel, it'd be a different
that makes sense. Yeah.
And I guess the speed of sound is a nice approximation. The speed of sound in that thing is a nice approximation, because you think speed of sound, like me, maybe the speed of sound in air. The speed of sound is not the same through every medium. It is different in steel than it is in air and probably water. I'm sort of outside my depth here. But I watched a cool physics video about how quick the speed of motion is.
So it's a
that sounds way more
300,000
exciting.
mile tube or whatever it is, 300,000 mile tube, and you smack it with enough strength to move it an inch. So is
Right.
like, because it's not instant, that inch movement, is it like that, like micro pressures throughout it actually like almost shorten it by an inch at the moment of impact, and then it like regains that as it rolls?
Yeah, like
That's
a wave
so-
that extends through the other
Yeah,
way. It's the
that's
speed
really-
of motion, and I hadn't even heard of that concept before.
I haven't either, but that's really
There's
interesting.
also the speed of smell that's often not discussed.
Yeah, and in
Oh,
in a hot shower, that speed is faster than light.
Yes.
shockingly fast. And like, look, dude, explain to me why, if the speed of smell is very quick in a shower, why is the speed of dispersal not equally quick?
Yeah, it can.
And why is the speed of smell for my farts faster to other people's noses? Why can they always know that I farted?
If I smell it so quickly, I should stop smelling it equally quickly, but that doesn't seem to be how the science works.
You know how you have like silly scientific thoughts like that? I talked to someone once and it made me crack up because I'd never considered it in that way. They were like, yeah, every time I would fart, I would try and sniff as much as I could so that I was sucking up all of the fart smell and it wasn't going anywhere else. And I was like, yeah, that's dumb, but I see.
Dude, I had
see
a
what
friend
you're
in high
doing.
school that would like try to employ his friends to get their filter. Everyone breathe deep. Everyone breathe deep. We don't want the rest of the class to know about this. And it's like, I am not your fart partner in crime, inhaling your stench. You're on your own. I'm holding my breath, bitch. Don't fart in class.
Meanwhile, you're like taking a deep breath, and a cute girl you like comes over, and she's like, "Your breath smells like shit." Smells like you inhaled Scott's fart particles and just put them in my face. You didn't think about stuff like that, Kyle? Like sniffing up your own fart? Because I didn't either. I didn't think about that until someone mentioned it, and it's a very funny concept.
I just don't think that would work. I don't think you can like filter out like sulfur dioxide or whatever the fuck makes a fart smell with your lungs.
You don't think your lungs filter that? I mean, that's
I mean, think about how like I just feel like you've poisoned a whole room full of air with a fart. Whereas like if you tried to inflate a balloon, it would take we'd all be out of breath in 5 minutes. Like Jesus Christ, like our lungs are so tiny compared to a room.
Yeah, and it's going everywhere. Once you've leaked your fart out, it's like it's spreading like gas does.
It would be like spilling your wine into the river and trying to catch it real quick. This is absurd.
Yeah.
like quick, drink all the river water. Like, don't let the wine get into the ecosystem.
I'm getting so sick of this river water.
I don't think we're gonna be able to
drink all the wine that Kyle spilled in the river. That's a good comparison. That's a very good comparison.
Absurd concept, and it's also.
Okay, I've Googled this. It appears that the answer is somewhere in between. Methane is the gas primarily responsible for the smell of farts, and it's water soluble. This suggests that the methane could be taken up by the lungs, therefore eliminating the smell from the air.
Hilarious.
Of course, once released into the environment, the gas from the fart dissipates into the air, making it impossible to breathe up every atom of odorous gas. So your breathing would not effectively deodorize the air.
Yeah.
So it works, but just very poorly.
Yeah, I remember a news story once. Well, you could call it a news story. I used to listen to the G. Gordon Liddy radio show. You know who that is, right? The Watergate
He's a
guy.
Watergate guy, maybe?
He was in on the break-in. He was there. And then did his time in prison and became a really popular conservative radio host. Had a very good voice, too, and a lifetime of cool experiences, including his prison stories. It was good stuff. And now I've forgotten why I wanted to bring up G. Gordon Liddy.
Well, it started with the fart thing.
Oh, I remember he told the story one time about a jail in Mexico where they were on a diet of nothing but like beans and cabbage, and it was a 2-man cell, and the guy on the top bunk died of asphyxiation. It was
because there was so little breathable air.
Yeah, because they farted so much that one of them died.
I was in a conversation recently, and the person lost their train of thought. So I started doing what I always do. I'm like, the dog, the car, the this, the that. And they're like, oh, right. I'm like, yeah, I do this professionally.
Yeah.